Y'all seriously need to stop sleeping on this show. Now, let me introduce the cinematic masterpiece of a television series. Enter the one and only Freaks and Geeks. I honestly don't know why this show isn't brought up alongside other greats from the early 2000s, like Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad, or Everybody Hates Chris. Like, for me, I would honestly put it up there, you know? And Rotten Tomatoes thinks so as well. So why aren't y'all watching this? In conclusion, watch Freaks and Geeks right now. It's on plenty of streaming services, and hope y'all enjoyed. See ya. My fans always multiply. I am stacking up my fans. Just kidding. I want to talk a bit more about the show, just to let you all know what to expect from this series, I guess. Now, I want to first start off by telling you guys how stacked this cast is. Like, it's really nothing to scoff at. Like, while watching the show, I was honestly surprised on how many familiar faces I saw every episode. Like, it was like a Where's Waldo situation, pretty much. Okay, to start off with the main cast, the co-main protagonist of the show is Lindsay Weir, played by Linda Cardellini. Wait a second, isn't that the skank from the Ski Lodge episode that almost made Corey and Topanga break up? The little skank. She's hot anyways, who cares? Then the other main protagonist of the show is Sam Weir, played by John Francis Daly. And yes, those two characters are siblings. And the secondary characters are also pretty familiar names, like Ken is played by Seth Rogen, although he could barely act in this series, and his character was so one-dimensional, it wasn't even funny at this point. Then Daniel, which is played by and Nick, played by that tall dude from How I Met Your Mother. But that's just a tip of the familiar face iceberg, because they got some pretty stacked recurring characters as well. Like, to start off, they got a young Shia LaBeouf, Squints from The Sandlot, Goldberg from The Mighty Ducks, Bernard from The Santa Claus, Biff from Back to the Future, and they got Ben frickin' Stiller. What other television show can say that they have Ben Stiller? I know I'm probably hyping it up a little bit too much, but I've never seen such an underachieving series like this have such a cast as overpowered as this. Like, it makes no sense. How did they even do it? Lastly, they got Lizzie Kaplan, aka the chick from The Interview, that had Seth Rogen and James Franco. Coincidence? I think not. This cast is honestly very impressive, and it's really something to behold. Okay, but enough about the actors. Now I want to talk about the premise of this series. So this takes place in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan in the year 1980. And this show is very high school centralized, with most of the conflict happening in or around that high school life. So each episode is split by two plots, but of course one plot will be more prominent than the other, depending on the episode, right? First, we got the Freaks plot, which follows Lindsay in her home and high school life, as she basically tries to fit in with the bad kids of the school. These guys are the classic Bender from the Breakfast Club type character, you know. Do drugs, sleep around, and have a dysfunctional home life. And I honestly do not know why she wants to run with this crowd, but I speculate. Yo, pause! You've made it halfway through the video and you still haven't dropped a like? What are you, stupid? Leave a like and enjoy the rest of the video. That she's just going through a rebellious phase. Since she is very academically gifted, hence her being a mathlete, as well as having some pretty strict golden generation parents. Her dad is a mix between, I would say, an Abe Simpson and a Danny Tanner. Also, why the heck do the parents in this show look so old? Like, how you look 60 and have two high school age children? It makes no sense. Anyways, Lindsay obviously gets into some trouble throughout the show and goes through some imposter syndrome, I would say. And it's very interesting to see how she copes with different types of situations. Then the other type of plot follows Sam Weir around, Lindsay's little brother. He is a freshman in high school and goes to the same school as her, obviously. He is the classic geeky, hasn't hit puberty nerd trope, and the plots are usually about him and his low self-esteem friends just getting bullied or making fool out of themselves, you know. And also some pretty rookie mistakes, honestly. Which is honestly pretty funny to watch, and it adds that comedy aspect to this show. But the two siblings have something in common. That is, that they both try their hardest to fit in desperately. But they both end up failing miserably most of the time. This is how a classic freak plot would go. Hey Lindsay, wanna go to this unsupervised house party? Sure, let me ask my parents first. What are you, dumb? Just sneak out. Okay. Then later she ends up getting caught or something, and her dad basically yells at her and tells her, Lindsay, you're grounded. I don't want you hanging out with those kids anymore. They are a bad influence on you. Then Lindsay says, OMG, Dad, I hate you so much. You don't understand me. And a classic geek plot would usually go like this. Sam, you got to buy this new cologne I saw in this commercial. It said the ladies would love you. Maybe you can impress Cindy. Then Sam answers with, Oh, really? I'm going to buy that cologne now. Maybe Cindy will finally like me. Then Sam approaches Cindy with his new crappy cologne he just bought, and she basically says, Ew, Sam, what's that smell? You smell like my stepdad. Then Sam embarrasses himself, and that's the end, basically. Although I really love this show, it's not perfect. One of the major problems I had with it was that it only had one season consisting of 18 episodes, each about 45 minutes long. The show ran from 99 to 2000, and the show obviously ended really abruptly because I mean, it was meant to have more seasons, but due to poor ratings that never happened and it never got renewed for season 2, which left us with a really unsatisfying ending. Like, I would have at least wanted to see another season where the freaks graduate from high school and have some character development, or with the geeks becoming more confident or something. But sadly, that's never happened. Although this show does leave a lot to be desired, y'all should still give it a watch. I mean, it's better than watching overrated garbage like Friends or some dumb murder documentary on Netflix. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed, and goodbye.
My bands always multiply. I am stacking up my bands like a game of Jenga. I am stacking up my bands like a game of